Okay, boys and girls, I am going to read Supermarket to you this time. I am going to ask you some questions along the way, and I do have some personal shopping experiences that I'll share also. You do not have to write down your answers to my questions, just think about them, or you can share them with whomever you are reading with today. Okay, let's get started. So, Supermarket is an expository text, which means it's nonfiction. There are lots of facts about supermarkets in this story, and it describes a real place. So, how can we get what we want and need? The supermarket is a good place to get both of those things. Oops, it's loading. Sorry about that. Okay, shopping carts clang, magic doors whiz open and shut, colors glow under bright white lights. So many breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. It's all at a special, necessary, very real place, the supermarket. The supermarket is a whole world of its own. Where does all this crunchy, munchy, sweet, sour, fiery, frozen, fabulous food come from? I've often wondered that myself, especially when I was younger. I thought it just showed up at the grocery store, but actually it comes from real places. The doors aren't really open by magic. When an electric eye overhead sees you coming, it starts a motor to open the doors. Going back to the top paragraph, what is a crunchy food you enjoy? One of my favorite crunchy foods are Doritos. What about a sweet food? What kind of sweets do you like? I like the donuts at Meijer. I think they have some of the best donuts. It all begins on farms. So there's the question, or the answer to our question. Where do some of the foods come from at our supermarkets? Well, they come from farms. Our foods come from places with lots of sunshine, rich soil, and clean water. If you look at the map, in blue of the United States. I'm going to read that next. Certain states are famous for certain foods. Iowa for popcorn, Vermont for maple syrup, Michigan for cereal, Wisconsin for cheese, Idaho for potatoes, Massachusetts for cranberries, Florida for oranges, California for grapes, and Georgia for peaches and peanuts. Now, I don't know if you realize, but the Kellogg Company is in Battle Creek, Michigan, and that's where your Kellogg cereals come from. Some of the Kellogg cereals you might be familiar with, Mini Wheats, Frosted Flakes, Fruit Loops, those all come from the company in our state. Farmers make decisions every day during the long months of growing. At harvest time, workers pick the fruits and vegetables. They pack everything neatly in boxes and load the boxes onto trucks. Picking fruits and vegetables can be painful, low-paying work. Cesar Chavez, he was born in 1927 and then died in 1993, became a hero for workers when he founded the National Farm Workers of America. A lot of the picking is done by hand, not by machines, so it can be very long and tiring, painful work. Small trucks, big trucks, gigantic trucks all rev up their engines. Every night, drivers take off from farms or warehouses. They zoom down the highway toward your town. In early America, most people were farmers. American Indians taught the new arrivals what to grow. Among many other foods, American Indians introduced the rest of the world chocolate, potatoes, tomatoes, beans, peppers, and most important, corn. Some form of corn appears in more supermarket foods today than probably anything else. Families grew all their own food. Later, they traded food with one another to get other things they needed. They started using money to buy things at town marketplaces. Soon, there were general stores where you could buy almost anything, and little family-run grocery stores, mom and pop stores. Stores became bigger, dividing items into different departments. So in the early days, people grew their own food. They didn't have supermarkets or little stores to visit. They had to grow everything they ate, and then they would trade with one another, and eventually they started using money. And now we have stores like Meijer, Kroger, Walmart, where we can go and get our items that we need, from vegetables to things that we can't eat, like toilet paper. Now we have an amazing place where every morning workers have a whole supermarket all ready for you. They have unpacked thousands of boxes and arranged everything on the shelves just so. You can find more variety in the fruit and vegetable section than anywhere else. Fresh, juicy, strange, familiar. Shoppers look, touch, sniff, compare, weigh, and watch out for automatic sprayers. Now, how many of you have ever gotten sprayed by those little sprayers at the fruit and veggie section? I know that I've gotten sprayed a couple of times. Also think about the sentence where it says, you can find more variety in the fruit and vegetable section than anywhere else. Fresh, juicy, strange, familiar. Now, Meijer, in my opinion, has the strangest fruits. What's the strangest fruit you've ever found at Meijer? Mine would be the jackfruit. It kind of looks like a bumpy football, and people use jackfruit to make vegetarian or actually vegan type of meals. You can use it like chicken. I've had barbecued jackfruit before, and it's not terrible. Beds of crushed ice keep the meats and fish fresh. Butchers cut or grind meat into different sizes and wrap packages in plastic. For most of human history, food has often spoiled or gone bad before it could be eaten. Not until the 1800s did people learn how to preserve food by sealing it inside metal cans. Around 1830, the English figured out a way to chill their food with machines like refrigerators and freezers. The best smells float around the bakery. Bakers sometimes bake thousands of donuts a day and at least a dozen different kinds of bread. That's my personal favorite section of the grocery store. What's yours? According to surveys, the top reasons why shoppers pick a particular store are, number 1, location, 2, prices, and 3, selection. Why do you think location is the first reason? Think about that. Just about everyone stops in the dairy section. Behind all the eggs, milk, yogurt, and cheese is a refrigerated area keeping everything cold. A stamp on many fresh foods gives an expiration date, the day on which the food is no longer fresh. A sweater is handy in the frozen food section where the air is coldest. Zippy music makes some people hum along or dance right in the aisle. Have you ever seen anybody dance in the aisle? I know that when I shop, sometimes I see people with their headphones in, and sometimes they sing a little bit with what they're listening to. The store is packed with cereal, soups, spices, and even non-foods. What is a non-food? Something in a supermarket that we don't eat, like toilet paper, laundry soap, toothpaste, shampoo, and magazines. At the checkout counter, people try to pick the shortest line. An electronic scanner reads the barcodes on most products and prints out the prices. A cash register adds up the cost of your food. Baggers ask paper or plastic and pack up your groceries. Think about all the people who move food from the farms to your kitchen shelves. The average wait in the checkout line is 8 minutes. The next time you go to the store with mom or dad, maybe think about, or maybe you can time how long you stand in line. Sometimes if you go on a busy day, it can be longer than that. How many of you go through the self-checkouts where you can check out your own food and bag up your own groceries? That's my favorite way to do it. Americans spend more than $440 billion a year at the supermarket. That is a lot of money. Over half of shoppers, especially women, use a shopping list to make sure they don't forget anything. The average shopping list contains 22 items. Still, over half of what shoppers buy in a store is not on their list. Kind of goes back to a question that I have to ask myself when I shop. How do I get the things I want and need? I definitely have to budget. I make a list so I don't end up with more than what I came to the store for. The supermarket is never quite the same from day to day. New items are added all the time, especially from around the world. Some markets have other stores right inside, worlds of their own. So thinking about the selection today, how do you get what you want and need from the grocery store or any store?